Hello everyone, welcome back to another STEM Helps video. Today we'll be talking about variables and if statements. So here we have a variable that's an integer, and don't worry about this. This is just a random number generator that'll give a random number between 1 and 0. So welcome to the coin toss simulator. We will have heads or tails. But how do we do that? How do we say that if this is the random number is equal to 1? So here, let me show you. Here, let me comment this out and let me show you. I run, it'll give me. Here, let me. So it's gonna print out the random number. And let's see, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That was very unlucky. 0, 0. So just trust me when I say that this is purely random and it's 50-50 chance. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to see what would happen if we have a coin toss simulator. So how do we do that? Well, there's something called an if statement, and it starts like this: if something, then do something. Alright? There's also else statements, and so now this is where structure of the code matters. So can you tell that these two curly brackets are in the exact same lane? So to not confuse anyone who reads our code, it's best to have tabs. So here we can just tab this and show that this is a part of the main method. So if something is true, so like if we say if boolean, if a boolean is equal to true, that's all we have to write. That's basically what it's saying. And we can say if random is equal to 1, and in if statements, usually in regular initiating variables, we say random is equal to with 1 equal sign, but in if statements and loops. So in if statements and loops, we write 2 equal signs. If statements. Sorry about that. Into if statements. If we have if statements, we write 2 equal signs. So if random is equal to 1, let's say we write heads. There's another way we can write this. We can say if the random is equal to 0, we can write tails. These are called if statements. And so now let's go ahead and write this. It's running. Welcome to the coin toss simulator, heads. Welcome to coin toss simulator, tails. So now, if the random number generator is giving us a 1, it could print out heads, or it's going to print out tails. So now here is another concept, which I'll just be briefly talking about now, but there's going to be a video talking about this more in detail. It's called if-else statements. So you can write else statements. Now this only works if you have said everything else included. Like if there's heads, tails, and that little like weird side part to the coin. Let's say we didn't talk about that. Let's say we say if random is equal to 3, that little side part, then we can say side part, if that's possible. So this else statement wouldn't work. But since there's only two options, and we've already discussed all the other options, all possible options, instead of saying if random is equal to 1, this, if random is equal to 0, this, we can just say else. Because this is basically saying if the random is equal to 1, bring out heads, or if it is anything but the if statement, then print out tails. The reason why this works is because the random number can only be 1 or 0. Like, let's say if I change this to say that you can print out 2, 1, or 0, then it wouldn't make sense. Because if the little side part is 2, then it would just print out tails, which would be an error. So let me change this back. So this would still be the exact same code. It takes a bit to load. Sorry about this. So you can see that it works regardless. And I hope that's helpful.